Hey, how's it going, man? I appreciate you taking some time out here today with me. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just living life.
Yeah, how is it being a UFC fighter now, man? Anything has changed in the last couple of weeks, or just another day, another life of Elijah Smith?
Yeah, just another day and another life of Elijah Smith. Nothing has changed too much, but I definitely see that more changes will start to come along here as I establish myself in the UFC and get more fights under me and start winning. And
So, how were your emotions going into arguably the biggest fight of your career, and how were your emotions after getting the biggest win of your career?
yeah, I mean, oof, yeah, the emotions were high. I didn't know what to really expect coming into the game, coming into the Contender Series. I just knew that I just had to play it as if it was any other fight. That was my main focus, was really just staying focused and knowing that this is a fight and anything can happen, and go about it as if it was my first making my pro debut. But definitely there was a lot of nerves, a lot of.
And how was it to get that monkey off your back and get the big win? Because I know going in, it was, you didn't have too much time to really prepare for this fight, and you were the featured bout going in, so the UFC had a lot of high praise for you coming into this fight. So like, how did it feel to finally get that win?
It felt great. Coming into, I mean, what I had it was about a 2.5 week notice, close to 3 week notice. And I was coming off of a vacation out in California. Just me and my girlfriend, we were just chilling out there, just enjoying the last little bit of our summer uh, before I got back in there. And yeah, I mean, the UFC, they gave us pretty high praise, or gave me pretty high praise, and that wasn't something I was expecting, because I thought, I mean, my opponent, he was 8-0, coming off of a bunch of finishes and from city kickboxing, and I was just at the time 6-1, having good finishes, but I thought they would have me as the underdog, actually, in which they did. They opened me up as an underdog, so I was already expecting that, but I guess that later changed. So yeah, I was,
Yeah, you're cutting in and out there for a little bit. Sorry about that.
okay. Can you hear me now? No,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no,
good
no. You're
now.
all good. Everything good. Yeah, so my
Yeah.
friend, he was telling me, he was like, "How's the UFC gonna bring me in on short notice, um, and make me a favorite?" It was kind of as if like I should have already been there from the get go, but it's all good, and we got there, and yeah, it was a tough task, but we went out there and stuck to our game plan, and yeah, came out victorious and with a contract.
Yeah, man. Honestly, you look sensational. You're very crisp on the feet. You showed your wrestling abilities as well. So you showed a lot of your game where you kind of don't get to see in the Contender Series because everybody's kind of like, I need to finish, I need to finish, I need to finish. But you showed so much that the UFC and Dana White were like, I can't not sign him regardless if he got the finish or not. And hearing the high praise from Dana White, who said that he kind of counted you out when you kind of were tired in that final round, to give you all that high praise and standing
Hey,
up
hold
and
on
clapping.
1 second, brother. Let me
No, you're good.
let me let me get to a good area. My bad. I
No,
apologize.
you're good. No, you're good.
Okay, I think we're all good now.
All right. So yeah, I'm just just like piggybacking off of how did it feel hearing what Dana White said in the post fight, after what you went through, even though the round three was kind of hard on you, you were kind of gassed, going hard for in the first 10 minutes of that fight. But like, how did it feel to hear that from Dana White and bringing you on board?
Yeah, it really felt great because before I got the contract, I was talking. We were going back, and I was getting checked out by the doctors, and this was like before I got into the seat where they like the seat before Dana White calls you up and gives you the contract. And I remember telling my dad, I was like, I don't know if I got the contract, and what I thought Dana White was gonna say was that you did great. You showed a lot, but I think you're a little too young yet, and I think you need more experience. That's what I was thinking he was gonna say off of my performance. So I was like, damn, like I didn't even get a like I didn't feel like I got a true opportunity to really showcase everything that I have, and like my true fight capabilities. So I was actually just being hard on myself, And it wasn't until my dad told me right before I walked up to the seats that he was telling me that Dana White was standing up and giving us a standing ovation, uh, just for how crazy that fight was and everything that happened throughout those 15 minutes. And after that, once he told me that, I was like, okay, we might have secured our position in the UFC. So I mean, to hear that, and then after that, I watched back the videos and watched the interview that Dana White was saying, and it's just like, damn, like that's crazy because I mean, every fighter goes through this like self doubt and everything, like not knowing if they're really ready for the next level. Like there was times I thought to myself like, am I good enough? But to hear that and put on a performance that I was able to put on and really showcase what I'm about and prove to myself that I'm ready for the next level.
Yeah, you definitely showed that. And like I said, well-rounded skill set. You went in there against another undefeated fighter who's been in there with some tough opposition, in his own right. But did you feel you had a lot of, um, a lot on your shoulders to kind of take after your dad and really put on a show and live up to your family's legacy coming into this fight?
Nah, I never. I don't know why that has always been something that never really weighed on me. Like it was never any added extra or added pressure. I don't know. I just felt like within this fight game, I've been able to carve and make my name for myself. um, Me and my dad, we have similar fighting styles, but I mean, we go back and forth. We argue in the gym. I'm like, man, I just think I'm the more exciting fighter. I mean, yeah, that just I think he's the more technical fighter, but I just feel like I'm the more exciting fighter. But when you put exciting and technical, and you put those two together, I think me and my dad we've been able to make a dominant team and just keep growing. I mean, that's something that we needed. We needed that. He has the experience, and I have the youth, and you put that together. Like I said, you make something big happen.
No, how proud? I know how proud was he of you? After that big win.
Man, he was super proud, and not only that, and not just because I'm his son, but just how much. I mean, he's seen it all. He's seen me at my highest of highs and lowest of lows. So he's seen it. He seen me at one point in time where I felt like I didn't want to do this anymore. But somehow I mean, he motivated me to keep training and stay consistent and stick with it. And we've been I took I had my first MMA fight was in 2021, and I had just freshly turned 18. So I've been able to accomplish all the things I've been able to accomplish in about 4 years or so. And it's crazy. Like most people, it takes their whole lives to get to this point, and we've been able to do it in 4 years or less. So I mean, that just shows how much work we've been putting in. And I mean, how can you not be proud of that? How can you not be happy uh, with what we've been able to accomplish? So it's definitely it's I know he's happy.
And I believe you're the only UFC fighter now coming out of your gym. How has this helped, your gym kind of put itself on the map and potentially bring in some more, higher level talent to want to come train with you guys, put in the work and really grow your gym and bring some homegrown talent into the UFC and into the other higher organizations?
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, after this fight, I've had so many people DM me and message me, and a lot of people coming into the gym. They're like, "Yo, like I watched your fight on the Contender Series, and you inspired me to either get back to it or really or start training to get to that point." So just being an inspiration to a lot of people at our gym, and yeah, I mean, I really hope that this. I mean, so far, I feel like it's bringing a lot of eyes to the gym, a lot of good eyes. And yeah, I mean, as of right now, we just have a lot of up and coming young fighters. So I'm just helping them out because I mean, they see what happens if you put the work in. Where you can go and how far you can take this. And nobody has the secret pill or the secret spell to get you to the next level. It all comes from heart and how much work you put in. But just to be the person, the first in the gym to show like, hey, you can do it. I can definitely see that it's inspired a lot of people, and hopefully it brings more guys out here to Colorado Springs, because most people that come out here, they always go to Denver. There's bigger gyms out in Denver, but I just think the Colorado Springs is a little bit better just because you're away from all the craziness, and we're actually higher in altitude than Denver is. So yeah, I mean, when Tracy Cortez, when she came out here and she had a fight in Denver, she was out here in the spring. So I mean, it shows.
Yeah, man. I mean, it shows that you guys have been putting in the work. You're getting to that next level, and kind of like the sky's the limit. I was just kind of wondering, fast forward, how like where is there anything on the horizon just yet? I know the year's kind of coming to a close, and we got 2 months left, and I feel like they're filling out the last couple of fight night cards. But is there anything on the horizon just yet from the UFC, or there's nothing
Nothing.
just yet?
Yeah, my manager, Jason and Iridium, they're trying to work on something, probably for January. I really wanted to get back in there in December, and I like closing out the year strong. I fought in December the last 2 years, and I just like to end the year off strongly. And I was asking for either December 7th or the 14th. If not, then it's all good. But I'm just staying ready, just so I don't have to get ready, so I don't run into the same issue again that I had on the Contender Series, where I only had like a 2.5 week notice to try to get in shape and figure out my opponent. That way, I just go into the fight. I'm already in shape. I'm already ready to go. So I'm training every day, sparring every week, just staying active, and because you never know what's going to happen in this fight game. Somebody can drop out, and the next thing you know, they're hitting my phone line like, "Hey, we have an opportunity for you," and that'd be the opportunity that I'm looking for. So, like I said, I really want to close the year out strong. If we don't get any one of those December cards, then most likely it'll be in the first quarter 2025.
Yeah, sounds great. And if you had to choose, right, who would you want to be, matched up against in your UFC debut? If you had to choose, anybody out there could be, anybody on in the roster. Who would you want to,
Um,
square off with?
to be honest, I wish I had a clear answer. Um, I don't really have a clear answer because I don't know who's. I haven't really checked the full roster. Um, I haven't looked at anybody that makes the most sense. But really, I want somebody that can match my intensity, because it takes two to tango. And if we're gonna be in a crowd, in an arena, I want to, like, for example, like me and Aaron Tao, like, that was, if that fight was in an arena, we probably would have blew the roof off that place in the prelims. So I want to give that same vibe, and I just always want to be in exciting fights, getting finishes. I want to be the one that's going to be able to put butts in seats. That's how I see myself. I always say I'm an exciting fighter. So I mean, whoever the UFC gives me, I really don't know. I mean, dream matchup would be like, I don't know, maybe Sean O'Malley, or I like Payne Talbot. I feel like Payne Talbot is a good one too. But I really want to work myself up to those guys, because those guys are elite guys, and I'm just getting my foot in the door. So I really want to just start laying a good foundation for myself in the UFC.
Yeah, and like I said, sky's the limit. It's going to be exciting to see, where you go from here and how you progress, and you know when your career actually takes off. But before I let you go, I wanted to know if there's a message out there for your fans. They are excited to see you finally step into the UFC octagon.
Yeah, for all my fans, if you guys want to just stay with the process, or just follow me in my journey in the UFC. You can always follow me on Instagram, Shakurtabag02. Also, subscribe to my YouTube, Elijah Smith UFC, and also my Twitch. I do a lot of streaming. I've been streaming a lot more, just talking and just interacting with fans on my Twitch. Again, it's Elijah Smith UFC. So just be on the lookout for any videos, or just on my social media. I promise, once I figure out what's my next step, you guys will be the first ones to know. Shout out to all my sponsors. Uh, Chris Lott, Burst Protection Services, all my sponsors. There's so many out there. And yeah, if you guys want to sponsor me too, DM me and I'll get right back to you guys. I promise, as quick as possible. But yeah, I just want to thank all the fans and thank all the supporters that's been behind me. And yeah, I didn't do this by myself. I did it with a team, with an army.